Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our EAPP class this afternoon. Please be mindful of your actions since this lesson is recorded. So before we formally start our discussion this afternoon, I would just like to see your faces first. May I request everybody to turn on your cameras? Let me see who took their baths and who did follow my advice to wear something nice since you're not allowed to be Ivana Alawi today. May I see? How about the men in the class? We have Aljin. Sherwin, may I see you? How about the others? We can't wait for them anyway. All right. Kindly wave your hands for me to see if you are hearing me from there or if you still have your hands with you. Oh, kiling maputi. Amy still here. Okay. Okay. I think we have the rest of the class members um, to stay with us, and of course, we're still waiting for the others. But unfortunately, we can't wait them for such a long time since Sir Harry Miranda is already here. I would like to see your virtual claps. Sir Harry is here, our master teacher one. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to our class. And
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
all right, since Sir Harry and Dr. Miguel Rivera have a meeting to attend at 1 p.m. We have to pursue this class at this moment. All right. To begin with, I believe you have already read this biblical verse in Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God." This afternoon, though we are still in pandemic, we continually believe that education must continue. It must be pursued, especially by students like you who become future of our nation. At this juncture, may I ask our class president, Ira Messina, to lead us in a very short prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us pray po. Lord, thank you for this day. Help us not to lean on our own understanding, but in everything, acknowledge you that you can direct our words, thoughts, and action. May you grant us the wisdom as we go through our discussion and guide our understanding to your ways in doing good as your servant. May you bless us all, especially in this time of pandemic. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I agree to that prayer. To that prayer, hope the same way you are. Now, before we continue, I would like to declare some important things about online classroom etiquette since this is unlikely with our online kamustahan in the past. I would like you to remember the following things so that we will stay in order and organized in this class as we go along. So for the maximum benefit of everyone in this class, please first turn on your camera or turn only your camera on during activities or during when you are being asked. Okay, because I know you are also trying to save some data for your other concerns online. As I have read an article, when our cameras are turned on, especially when all of our cameras are turned on, the more data that our, you know, our, what do you call this, our networks, our SIM networks are taking from us. So I hope that would be reasonable. Second thing, mute your mics unless asked. Chat box is available too. So we may use the chat box anyways. No, but when I asked you to recite orally, now please turn on your microphones. Third, prepare your pen and paper, your Facebook Messenger, and of course your third quarter, third module, which is about summarizing techniques. And please have a bottled water with you, or at least a liter. No? We might stay for an hour to accomplish this lesson. And lastly, use raise hands or butt in politely when there are questions and concerns. And I hope you will raise your important questions, especially the relevant ones, because in that way, we can be able to not only equip ourselves with the art of questioning, but also to deal with the existing questions that we need to deal in this particular competency that we are trying to learn in this subject. So, and other things about online etiquette, of course, pay attention, sit properly, listen very well, and take notes, etc. And our special guest this afternoon, our visitors, supposedly we have Dr. Miguel A. Rivera Jr., our principal 4, and the person who is with us, who will be later leaving us also because of an important meeting, an urgent one to attend to, Sir Harry G. Miranda, our Master Teacher 1. Shall we? I am excited to teach you because one of the important lessons that you have to learn is this critical thinking skill. When we say critical thinking skill, we are not only dealing with one particular macro skills, but we are trying to combine different skills in linguistic competence in order to learn. Anyone? Because somebody turn on his microphone. Would you like to say something? Maybe if you would like to say something, you start with chatting us first, okay? And then just wave your hand if you would like to say something so that you'll be recognized, okay? So we are now on the third lesson of the quarter 3. And this one is, as I've said, a very essential topic because you will not only be using it in your writing activities, but most especially in your research endeavors. Now, our learning objectives this afternoon are the following. At the end of this module or this discussion, I am expecting you to identify various summarizing techniques because there are so many techniques or strategies in summarizing. No? And that's a wonderful thing because you can be able to choose what is best suit for you or what is easiest for you. And under this objective, we will try to define summarizing, we will define paraphrasing, we will define quoting, and we will enumerate these summarizing techniques. In the same way, we will aim to apply any or a combination of these techniques in a well-written summary. And along that, we will be analyzing some tips for a well-written summary. And of course, the most important part, the practice. I will be asking you to practice summarizing using the techniques, and we will evaluate and write a summary via rubric. But that would be an additional activity. But anyways, you have your modules with you. Although I have changed many parts as suggested by the teacher of English ADM team of the Division of Pampanga. So I have tried to upgrade our module so that it will suit your age and at the same time your interests in connection with your III subject and your practical research too that has been taken by you last SEM. Now, let's deal with the previous lesson. Would you like to play a game? Anyone? Would you like to play a game?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So kindly turn on your cameras so that we can play this game. Actually, these are two it will be a series of games. You know? So I hope you are excited about this. So I want you to get a pen and paper. But then again, I asked you to prepare also your Facebook Messenger in our EAPP chat room. Pwede nyo isend dun yung sagot nyo, or since we have the chat box here, you may send also your answer. But if you would like to state it orally, just wave your hand, and I'll call your name. Anyway, I am seeing you all from here. Now, this game is a recapitulation of our previous lesson, which was about the types of text structures. This game is entitled Computation of Words. Have you seen mathematics and English together? Not so much, no? Sabi nila kapag magaling ka sa English, hindi ka daw magaling sa math, or the other way around. But in this way, in this game, we will try to break that wheel. It's not true, no? We can be good in math and we can be good also in English. Now, this game is about applying basic operations of variables in mathematics. You remember your integers, diba? You remember the algebraic expressions. Na gagamitin natin yung understanding nyo sa plus, minus, multiplication, and division, no, dito sa activity na ito. Now, there are also clues as descriptions, descriptions as clues para makuha nyo yung right word. So an example here is like this. SW minus S plus RLIT minus L plus MING minus M is equals to. So you will just try to extract the word that is being described on the clue, but at the same time, because you have an equation, you will apply the basic math operation. So sabi niya kasi SW minus S. So you will remove letter S because it is subtraction. So you will only leave W. And then you will add W to the next letters that will be left out, or that will be lived, okay, by the subtracting of letter L from the 4 words, and so on and so forth. So how did I get the word writing? Because W, R, I, T, I, N, G are the only letters that are left after applying the basic mathematical operation. So we have a raised hand here. Kindly state your name. Who raised his or her hand? Yes. Question? Any question? None. All right. I understand that. Okay. Let's start with the game. Okay. So that is the example, okay? I hope you get
Yes,
that.
sir.
All right. The first one. The first item. Lin minus L, UFO minus U, row minus OE, national minus N. This basically just to develop ideas using techniques to present details and well-chosen sequences. Remember your lesson last week or last week? Type of structures or maybe type of writing. Lin minus L. UFO minus U. I am also checking your answers on the messenger. The first one to raise his or her hand, please open your camera. I want to see you. Who is it? Ayaw ng audio sa akin. Paano to? Oh yeah. That's difficult. Somebody's raising his or her hand. Kindly speak. Bakit ka naka-raised hand? That confuses me. Anybody who got the answer? Lin? All right. I think I will give this to Jerisano. The correct answer is informational. Let's see. Do you hear me from there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerisano, the correct answer is informational. You're correct. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Please count your score. Who got it right? Informational. May I see who got it right? Kyla got it. Kyla Castro got it. How about the others? All right. Joy Alim got it also. Onin got it. Jerome, Angel Blast got it. And on the chat room, we have Rina Galang, Roslyn. Okay. Trisha. Oh, Trisha, you are here. Okay. Many got it. Let's go to the next one. The second item. Here we go. I think the internet is fluctuating. That's fine because most of you are turned on. Cameras turned on. This is the basic. Please turn off your microphones. Do not forget. This is the basic structure that writers use in presenting ideas. This may inform through illustration and anecdotes. Entertain readers through the stories. I think somebody got the correct answer na. We have the first one to answer was Ajin Yumang. That is plural. That's incorrect. That makes it incorrect. Chloe, you got it right, Chloe. The correct answer is narrative. So you have to eliminate so, and then the ST and D, the EOR, and the MS, and you will get narrative. And of course, you have your context clue. Let's proceed to the next one. All right. The third one. Do not forget your scores. The third one we have. We got it first. Still waiting. This narrative writing style presents an insightful point of view depending on the writer's feelings. Oh, somebody got it. Too fast. We have Jerome. And the correct answer is, let's see. Let's click this. Subjective. That's correct. Who got it? May I see your hands? Okay. Angeline Buentipo got it. Kyla Castro. Jamaica Isidro. Joy Alim. Vivian Cao. All right, Catherine Manalastas, and many more. Let's go to the fourth one. The fourth one is this one. It is used to show order of things, how something happens, and the logical arrangement of things. You're very good with your lesson 2. I have already checked your outputs. Oh, somebody got it right. That's quick, huh? Jerome Malyari again. We have, let's see, chronological. All right. Did you get it? Anyone? Chronological? Okay, very good. That's nice. This is an honest to goodness activity because you have to be honest with yourself if you get it right or not. Okay, unless you would like to fool of yourself, no? Wag naman. Let's go to the last item before we proceed to the next game. Next. Last one. It is used by writers to describe something. This may be an object, a person, place, experience, emotion, situation, event, etc. And from the chat box again, Let's see who is the quickest among the quickest. Who is this Kyla? We have so many Kyla. We have Kyla Castro, we have Kyla Kabigting, we have Kyla Tan. Who is this Kyla kaya? No, Kyla lang kasi yung nakalagay. Baka mamaya yung Kyla na singer to. Dapat sampulan muna tayo ng On the Wings of Love nito. Whoever that is, Kyla, you got it right. It's description.
Kyla Tan, sir.
Kyla Tan. All right. That's
Si Kyla
nice.
Tan po.
Okay, thank you. That is description. Who got 5 out of 5? May I know? Who got 5 out of 5? Okay, let us give ourselves a virtual clap. Whoever got 5 out of 5. So those who got lower than 5, please do review your lesson 2. But let us proceed to the next game. Okay, the next game is not quite as exciting, but this will train your mind about this type of text structures that you have learned from lesson 2. Now, we have here the game is scene and structure. So you have to read the following situations and write the text structure employed for each scenario. Let's see. So these are the choices. We have narrative, definition, description, classification, compare and contrast, chronological, cause and effect, and problem solution. So I would like you to determine what are the type of structures that are being described or being used in the following situations. I am giving you 2 minutes to answer. Go. You may type your answer on the FB Messenger, on our FB Messenger, or maybe in the chat box, or show your answers on the pen and paper. I mean, from the paper. Last minute. All right, may I see? A meet must be complete, 1 to 4. Okay, Kyla Alessandra got it. So, chronological, problem and solution, description, compare and contrast. Let us see. Okay, let us see. Here are the answers. Okay, chronological, cause and effect, description, compare and contrasts. Who got it? Chronological, cause and effect, description, compare and contrast. Did you get the correct answer? Anyone who has the same answer? Or who has the same list of answers? Meron?
Ako po, sir.
Okay, Jerome, okay, we have Kabigting. Okay, let us try to explain it very briefly. Kyla Castro and the rest. Now, Adrian was asked to give a speech about how the newlywed couple met. And it will be chronological because from the start of when they met and up to the wedding. Now, chronological means pagkakasunod-sunod. So, Adrian's speech of how the newlywed couple met should be in a chronological manner. Number 2, Charlene was asked by her boss to make a report about why their employees are always late and the common reasons why. It would be cause and effect. Why? Because because Charlene must know the cause and the effect of them being late so that the report would be factual and valid. Third, Adrian is selling a new Android phone to customers. Of course, he will try to describe it very well so that the customer would buy it. Okay? And number 4, a sales lady is helping a client choose between Pantene and Palmolive shampoo. Of course, you have to compare and contrast Pantene and Palmolive so that you can be able to weigh which one is better with the other, right? So I hope that makes sense with you. But anyways, you have done a good job today. So give yourselves a virtual claps. Now that would be a success for today. Now, I would like to share something to you, another activity which is quite easy lang. I would just want to see thumbs up and thumbs down. So I would like to see if you have a prior knowledge about summarizing. I know many times especially in your English subjects or English related subjects that your teachers were asking you to summarize certain texts. Okay? And of course, when you're telling also your stories, anecdotes to your friends or to your family members, you're trying to summarize your story so that you can be able to reserve time. Now, I would like you to assess the following statements, whether they are good or bad summarizing techniques. If it is good, I would like you to thumbs up. If it is bad, you have to show me your thumbs down. Can we try it? I would like you to show to me your thumbs up. How do you do thumbs up? May I see? Thumbs up? Okay. Nagpa-manicure. How about thumbs down? May ketchup pa yung iba. Hotdog siguro yung ulam kanina. Okay. So, good job. Let's see. Okay. Don't worry. I'll be with you in this activity. Let's start with number 1. Aldrin copied details from 2 original texts. So there are 2 original texts, and then joined the 2 to form his summary. Okay, there are 2 texts. And then what Aldrin did was to combine them. And then he passed the activity to his teacher and said, this is my summary. Is that a thumbs up as a summarizing technique or a thumbs down? May I see? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Oh, many thumbs down. May I know why? Anyone? Why is it a thumbs down? Anyone?
Sir, kasi po
Yes.
me sir,
I
if
am.
you're summarizing,
Introduce yourself, please.
you don't have to copy the original text. I'm Dexel Gonzalez.
Okay, go.
If you're summarizing something, you shouldn't copy the original text and instead use your own words, but the main idea is still there.
Very good. Because what Aldrin did was just to copy the
Thank
2
you po.
right, Dexil? And that goes against with the ethics when it comes to plagiarism. That is not a good activity. That is not a good decision to make, no? Kaya nga when you are copy pasting your answers from the internet or from somebody's answers, no, when it is not your style, it would be still evident. So don't cheat. That is actually cheating. So Aldrin, di ba? Aldrin in number 1, be a good student. Let's go to number 2. How about this one? Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Elizabeth read the original material and listed down important details in her notebook. Elizabeth read the original material and listed down important details in her notebook. Okay, 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, thumbs down. Sabi nung isa. Not sure? No, it's thumbs up. That's correct. Okay. Why is it thumbs up? Because of course, reading the original material is the first step, and listing down the details that you have gotten from the original material must be listed, no, using your notebook. That's why it is very important for language students like you to have your pen and paper with you, or your mobile phones to take notes of the ideas that you are hearing or you're analyzing, so that by next time you can be able to use it or retrieve it. Now, let's go to number 3. John used a semantic web. Do you know what is a semantic web? It's a graphic organizer in which you are trying to connect ideas or concepts, no? Or maybe cluster a general term in order to identify its synthesis. Now, John used a semantic web to relate important details to the main idea. Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up, sabi ni Kayla Alessandra. Melay melay na melay ang thumbs up. Very good. It's thumbs up. Of course, when you are using these graphic organizers to help you in outlining important details on the from the main idea that are coherent to the main idea, that is actually a good activity. And this slide approves our answers. Correct. Let's go to number 4. Evelyn underlined important sentences and restated them in her own words. Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Did Evelyn do the right thing? Anyone who would like to answer? Turn on your microphone if you would like to answer. Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Let us hear from Julie. Julie, help us here with number 4. Is it thumbs up, Julie, or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Why? Why is it thumbs up? Because
They use
Sir.
do you do the same thing, Julie? You underline important sentences. How about you, Kyla Tan?
Sir,
Do you do that? You underline
I
important
think it's
sentences.
thumbs up, sir.
Yes. Why?
Yes, it's thumbs up kasi po, she underlined the important details and she described her in own words.
I agree to that. When we are restating the important sentences, then we are applying not only
To
our...
easy memorize.
Who was that? Do you hear me, guys? All right, let's continue. This is just normal. There are really technical difficulties when it comes to online classes, and we do understand that. So let's proceed. Number 4 is a good activity when it comes to summarizing, because underlining important sentences will help us to determine the main points of the text. And through that, we can be able to draw our restatements. And these restatements become our paraphrasing, and turns out to be also our summarization when we are able to put them together as one concept or idea. Let's go to number 5. Engelbert wrote down key ideas and connected the ideas using his own words. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up. Okay. Let's see. The next slide approves our answers. Yes, it's both thumbs up. So if you got it right, anybody who got 5 out of 5? Okay, let's give ourselves A virtual clap. A virtual clap. All right. So much for that. And now let's proceed to this quote by Octavia E. Butler. If you have considered completing your research with originality and of course with respect to um, a higher standard of obedience in the ethics of research, and at the same time you would like to pursue courses which are related to writing, reading, or English language as a subject or as a course. um, I would like you to remind I would like to remind you that it is a very tedious subject, and at the same time the skills, the proficiency, the competencies that you have to learn are very challenging, but at the same time very enjoyable, because when you're learning English you are becoming intercultural um, locutionaries. No, you are capable to talk to people outside our country, and at the same time you are developing not only your marketability but your economic status using the language. Although others may claim that English, or having the knowledge of using English in speaking, reading, writing, listening, comprehending, viewing, critiquing, is not that important, since it doesn't lessen or makes you superior than others. I would like to remind you that still it helps. Learning English still helps. And as Butler mentioned here, you don't start out writing good stuff. That's why when you start writing, do not give up just because you think there are so many errors or mistakes or mishaps in your writing. You have to start out writing crap and thinking it's good stuff, right? At least you start on your own, and you start, and when you are starting, then it grows. Nobody started great already. We all start with being a crap, and then gradually you get better at it. That's why I say one of the most valuable traits that we must have is persistence. When I say persistence, go lang. 'Di ba? Just keep going. Sabi nga ni Dory, no, dun sa Finding Dory, just keep swimming. When the life is going hard, and at the same time when the writing is becoming challenging, lalo na kayo, you are going through your research proposal, I guess, or or your research development, then just continue learning these skills and apply them in your research endeavors. And may I say, in the modernizing time, in this 21st century era, remind yourself that we are not only aiming to be literate, not only knowing how to write and to read, but to use these skills in more complex activities like research, more of complex academic activities, and of course, in the near future, in our careers, in our professional workspaces. Now, I would like to ask the following question. The first one, because we are dealing with writing, we're dealing with this summarization. I would like to ask, what do you know about EAPP as a subject? What is EAPP about? Because this is our subject. Anyone? Of course, you know that EAPP stands for English for Academic and Professional Purposes. But
Sir.
yes, your name, please.
Sir,
Ira Messina, sir.
Go, Ira.
In English for Academic and Professional Purposes, or EAPP, we are concerned with two main ideas: the academic purposes and the professional purposes.
All right, that's true. How we can be able to apply our knowledge in
sir,
English in this endeavors. Yes, Joy Alim.
uh, for, for me, a, a EAPP as a subject is helping us students to enhance our skills in written text, in written works.
All right, that's good. Or communication. In general. All right, that's nice. How about in academics? How we can be able to apply our knowledge of English in
Sir.
academics? Anyone? How we can be able to apply our knowledge in English in academics?
Sir.
Yes, state your name.
Sir ako po. Ira, sir.
Ira,
Ira Messina po.
go.
Ah, regardless in the field that I would like to pursue, in EAPP can give me access to vast or wide resources of information that will help me bring positive impact to the society by means of writing, to help me to become more familiar with the different texts I'll be encountering in my chosen courses.
That's true because in EAPP we are dealing with various academic texts, and with that, we can be able to deal with many issues and concerns of our society. Therefore, English as a language in this academics can be able to what do you call this? Help us to contribute mainly to the betterment of our community. How about in professional side? How the knowledge of English can be able to help us? Anyone? When it comes to work, when it comes to finding job, when it comes to, yes, anyone?
Yes, me.
State your name.
Sir.
Would like to answer that. How English as a language.
Hello, sir.
Yes, state your name, please.
Marjorie Velasco, sir.
Yes, Marge.
Sir, in terms of in profession or professional in works like that, sir. Sa kunwari sir sa business, as English is used as in the international language around the world. Sa business matters po, it is usually used for presenting and formal communication.
That's right. That's right. Do you think reading and writing are interrelated? Anyone? Do you think reading and writing are interrelated? Kambal ba sila? Yes or no? And why?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yes po.
State your name.
Yes po, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
po.
sir.
Would like to answer that. Why do you think so? Kayla Castro.
Writing are interrelated simply because if there will be no writing, there will be no reading
Right.
also.
Yes, that is the common, actually that is the common belief, right? But also it is the other way around. It can be also the other way around. You cannot be able to write without reading. That's why on the last question, can we write without others' ideas and insights? Of course, no. You have to, we call that, what do you call this? Brain bank. You have to have a bank of all your readings, of all the ideas and insights that you have gathered from your reading, so that you can be able to write your own stuff. Okay, that's why in research we are also dealing with review of related literature, in which you will read many researches that are related to your topic, and from there you can be able to draw concept and theory that you will be used as the backbone of your research. There you go, guys. Those are good insights. I appreciate that. Now, I would like you to watch this video.
Sometimes you need to incorporate other people's ideas into your own writing. There are 3 ways to do that: quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. First, I'm going to talk about what each one is. When you're quoting something, you're taking what the author says word for word and putting it in your paper. When you're paraphrasing something, you're explaining a piece of what the author says in your own words, but still giving the author credit for the idea. When you're summarizing something, once again, you're saying it in your own words, but you're also shortening what the author says. Usually people choose to summarize when the author's passage is on the longer side. For all three of these techniques, you want to make sure you cite your author at the end, so that way you're not plagiarizing. So let's do some examples. This is a story that Queen Eleanor tells Merida in the movie Brave. It's going to act as our original passage. So if we wanted to quote it, we would take a specific part of it and put quotation marks around it. In this case, our quote is, "The oldest prince wanted to rule the land for himself. He followed his own path and the kingdom fell to war and chaos and ruin." And then at the end, we're going to put the author, in this case, Queen Eleanor, at the end to show that we are using her words. Now let's move on to paraphrasing. If we were to paraphrase this passage, we'd say something like, "When the king grew old, he gave a piece of his land to each of his 4 sons so they could rule the kingdom together." And once again, we're going to put Queen Eleanor's name at the end to show that we are taking from her words. So in this sentence, we're focusing on the part of the passage that talks about the king dividing up the kingdom, and we're explaining it in our own words. Now let's summarize this passage because it's kind of long. A summary would sound something like, "An ancient king divided his land among his 4 sons, but the oldest prince took the land for himself and drove the kingdom into ruin." So when we paraphrased, we focused on the king giving away the land. But here, we're also focusing on the fact that the prince took all of the land and the effects of that. And these are the 3 ways that you can incorporate somebody else's ideas into one of your papers. But the main thing to remember is that no matter which one of these techniques you use, you have to cite your author at the end. That way you don't plagiarize.
All right. What I love that video is that it makes the 3 concepts quite easy. Okay. So we have these 3 concepts. We have quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. And these are all skills that you have to learn. But in passing, we will dealing with quoting in and paraphrasing because our main topic is summarizing. Now, what is with quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing? They all come together. They help each other so that um, a particular summary or gist or a written text be more well written or um, be more well written and made sure that it is properly quoted or paraphrased or summarized in consideration of a set of guidelines and of course a scoring rubric which is being used for evaluation. Now, when we speak of quoting, it means copying a passage of someone else's words and crediting the source. To quote a source, you must ensure the quoted text is enclosed in quotation marks or formatted as a black quote. The original author is correctly cited. What was in the video was a dialogue from the movie Brave. It's a Disney movie about a young princess with her mother who became what do you call this? A boar. All right. But this in this example here, this is more complex because it's actually an academic write-up. You can see here some comments about quoting. And of course, the most important part of quotation is the citation. When we say quoting, um, you have 2 ways to reflect it. You have, of course, the use of quote and quote or the open and closed quotations, but we have also these citations that we add at the end, depending on what kind of citation we would like. If it is direct and indirect. But in this case, this is indirect. So you put it outside the period and after a certain number of words of quoted words. So you have the last name or the author and then the date. So it was in 1996. Now, um, at the same time, when you are doing your citations, you can be able to add notes below in the footnotes in which it describes what happened in this passage. So This is just an example of quotation. But the most commonly used, for example, in the motivational quotes that we see is open and close quotation marks. Now, with paraphrasing, it means formulating someone else's ideas in your own words. To paraphrase a source, you have to rewrite a passage without changing the meaning of the original text. It is an alternative to quoting, where you copy someone's exact words and put them in quotation marks. So in this way, you have already the source text. When you say the source text, it is where your paraphrasing will come from. So it says here, while many governments have taken steps to implement privatization programs, progress has been slower than was anticipated in the early 1980s. I would like you to focus yourselves on the highlighted words. On the paraphrased version, according to Baylis in 2003, although the implementation of privatization programs has been a priority for many governments, the word progress stayed in the area is added and then has not been as rapid as expected. So from has been lower. Okay, it was stated on the opposite version, and it was has not been as rapid, okay, as expected. And expected is the synonymous terms of anticipated. So that is the key thing about paraphrasing. You have um, to make sure that you are restating what have you read, not copying the exact words from the source text, but being careful in considering the main thought or the main idea that you would like to share. Now, this is now our main topic for this afternoon, which is about summarizing, which is not something new to you. When we say summarizing, it is condensing someone else's ideas and putting into your own shortened form. It also allows you to be sure that you have accurately captured the main idea of the text you are reading. If you will see here from the original text in terms of length, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, including this citation, you have 12 lines. But if you will look at the summary, you only have 3, 6, and 7. And that is the first key thing about summarizing. It becomes shorter. Okay? The summary must not take longer or must not become longer than the original text. It must be shorter. And at the same time, although there are some words that stayed, what you are going to do is to restate and of course, still to quote. So kung makikita natin dito, quoting and paraphrasing are still part of summarizing. Now, I would like to ask some of your classmates who have not yet answered, what is your favorite movie? Do you see any familiar movies from this set of pictures? If you would like to answer, state your name. What is your favorite movie? Let's hear from Joy Alem.
Train to Busan, sir.
Oh, Train to Busan. Okay, what happened to Train to Busan? Give us a very short idea. What have you seen from there?
Nagkaroon po ng zombie apocalypse, tapos po lilipat po sila pupunta po sila dun sa lugar na parang wala pong mga zombie, wala pa pong na-infect na tao. Tapos nung papunta po sila, yan po
Nagkaroon ng attack, right? Nagkaroon ng attack on
kasama
the
niya. Opo.
Okay, Joy, let me cut you there.
Po, kasama niya po.
Because that is already the summary of the story. That's very good. At least you have now the idea what is a summary. That is a summary. Okay? Who else would like to share his or her favorite story or movie, I mean? Catherine. How about Catherine? Catherine, are you here?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, Kath. What is your favorite movie?
Ayun pong Katniel.
This is the
Yun
House of
Katniel po.
Oh yeah.
Yun pong the house arrest of
House arrest of us. Okay. Give
the
us
house. Yes
a
po.
summary.
Wherein ano po, yun pong dalawang pamilya bawal na po silang lumabas.
All right.
That,
That's interesting. I hope to see that very soon. How about the others? Last one. A favorite. Onin.
Sir, yung ano sir, crash landing on you po.
Okay. Crash landing on you.
This movie po is all about love.
Mhm.
Yung pong babae, si Seris Choi, ano po siya, taga South Korea po siya, tapos si Yoon Bin taga North Korea. Tapos na-aksidente po si Seris Choi sa isang parang tsunami po. Tapos napunta po siya sa parang yung kung ano ng South Korea border po, para pong ganon.
So that is where the crash
Tapos
landing
po,
on you
parang pinaghahanap
comes
po siya.
from. Yung tsunami. No, kasi crash landing on you. I haven't watched it So, but I think I become interested with that
Parang nagpa-parachute po siya, sir.
sa
Nagpa-parachute po siya, sir. Noon. Nagpa-parachute po siya para sa business, ano po niya, advancement.
Okay. Sige, I'll check on that, Onin, but thank you for sharing those ideas. Now, those are entertaining concepts and summaries because they come from entertaining sources. But what if we have more complex and sensitive topics like global COVID-19 pandemic, like increasing teenage pregnancy, gender equality and LGBTQ, or same-sex marriage? What if our topic is about political conflicts, including our issues in the Philippines with China? What if our topic is about poor reading skills and reading comprehension as a problematic concern of the Department of Education? And at the same time, the mental health awareness when it comes to depression and suicide, in which cases are increasing. So what if these topics are to be dealt with? And later on, we will dig deeper to this. That's why I would like to challenge you also when it comes to summarizing, when it comes to training yourself, equipping your skills in summarization, paraphrasing, and quoting, use materials which are more in academic writing rather than those of with metaphorical kinds or figurative writing or process in which in this manner we have movies, no. But I am not trying to deviate you from your interests, but what I would like you to remember is that without practice you can be able to have it. Sabi nga nila practice makes perfect, but I don't think so. What I believe is practice makes permanent, and that is what we have to learn. Now, the main concept is writing a summary. So summary is a direct to the point narrative or retelling of a much longer material, either a story, an essay, or any body of knowledge. Here is some helpful information to help you create an effective summary. So let's deal with what is a summary and what makes it good or what makes it well written. Now, do you see the woman here? She's problematic. It is because sometimes summarizing especially complicated texts is very stressful. But if you have accomplished it, that is such a good relief. And by the next time, since you are already trained, you can be able to do it without sweat. Now, let me share to you rubrics for evaluating summary writing, which we will be using by the time that you will evaluate a certain summary, and of course when you will be writing your own summary as well. So the most important indicators are important ideas, paraphrasing, structure of the text, and the word choice. And along with this are this range of proficiency. We have excellent, strong, and proficient. We have fair, needs work, and beginning. So the gray ones are the ones or the scores in which you have to develop more or improve more. And this side are the ones in which we say very good or your strengths. Now, in the guidelines for summarizing are the following, and they go in this step-by-step process. First, you have to clarify the reason for summarizing before reading. It's just like asking why. Why do you need to summarize it? What is your purpose? What does it make you, or how it will help you? Second, read the material first while noting important details. So note taking is still important, underlining the important ideas, highlighting them, etc. Third, if you can write on the material and circle the key ideas and important details. Fourth, you have to, if you cannot write on the material, note down the key ideas and important details on your notebook, and you may use a bulleted form. Say bulleted form, yung mga ginagamit natin na iba-ibang bullets. Okay, it can be circles, checks, arrows, and etc. Without consulting the original text, connect the bulleted information you wrote down. So from the bulleted form, you will create a paragraph. You will create a text, no, in which you will try to connect them. Sixth one, you have to rewrite this bulleted information in your own words. Stick to the ideas and details that you are presenting. And seventh, write the sentences in a paragraph form. And compare your summary to that of the original text for checking or for accuracy. So you have now two texts in front of you, the original text and the summary. And the last one, you have to create citations and references by using formats. Okay, and we have formats to follow. Upon saying that, these are the research formats for citations. We have the Modern Language Association, we have the Council of Science Editors, we have the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, we have the Chicago manual style, which supports two styles. We have the notes and the bibliography author date, and we have the most common, which is the APA, which is the American Psychological Association. MLA, or the Modern Language Association, deals with English literature, foreign language, communications, religious studies, which means when it comes to academic text, this is what we are going to follow. However, we are still part of the APA, or the American Psychological Association, which deals with psychology, education, business, economics, nursing, linguistic studies. Therefore, this is the one that we are strictly being considered to what do you call this, to consult of when it comes to citations and creating references. So kapag gagawa kayo ng research, you look for APA books. Right now, we have APA's the 7th version na susundan nyo pagdating sa pagkukote, pagsa-summarize, pagpa-paraphrase. Now, let me give you some tips for writing a summary. When you are writing a summary, since it is a formal write-up, you have to apply formal writing or yung formal style ng pagsusulat. So, do not be sloppy with your English. Don't write something like the rabbits were drastically reduced by the drought. Write about what is actually being reduced. The number of rabbits was drastically reduced by the drought. It only means that you have to simplify. Now, with the use of your subject-verb agreement and, of course, brevity. And brevity means your substantiality in writing. You will have to make sure that you are direct to the point. Straightforwardness is very important in terms of formal writing. Second, use sophisticated transitions like in addition, moreover, consequently, rather than but and or. You may use other transition words. And of course, do not use okay. Use a full word instead, like satisfactory or acceptable, for instance. Avoid using abbreviations such as etc., e.g., no, and IE, which are all about examples. Write them out longhand such as for example. Huwag daw tayong nagsusulat ng mga abbreviations. Avoid contractions from your possessives using the constructions. For instance, the teenagers of today instead of today's teenagers. So you have to complete it. Parang yun ang sinasabi ng formal writing. So when it is in formal writing, do not assume that your readers know it. Instead, show it. Avoid using dialogue in a formal essay. Instead of writing that kid told me I am happy with the new school, write the kid told me that he was happy with his new school. So instead of a dialogue form, you have to state it or declare or use the declarative sentence. Don't use verb contractions like will or heed. Okay? Instead, you have to show the whole word. So words. So you have we will and he had or he would. Now, Don't use exclamation points or question marks unless you're quoting something which requires one. No, yung iba kasi pinupuno ng questions and then they will answer the same question. No, no, no. As much as possible, be more in academic style of writing in which you are just conversing with people but in a formal way. And last one, don't begin sentences with numerals. Write out numbers as a full word if you have to start a sentence with one. Okay, and that's a good insight. Now, let's proceed to summarizing techniques. What are the summarizing techniques? The first one, someone wanted but so then technique. So these are just techniques or strategies that would help you to summarize text, especially the long ones. No? So this came from Macon, Bewell, and Boggs in 1991 and Beers in 2003. Someone wanted but so then technique is used during or after reading. It provides a framework to use when summarizing the action of a story or historical event by identifying key elements. Someone wanted but so then technique, it goes like this. So from someone who is the main character of the story, and then wanted means what was the goal of the main character, but means what main problem did the main character experience, so means how did the main character solve the problem, and then how did the story end. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin ng someone wanted but so then. So each words refer to a question about the story or about a text that you are reading. Now, let's try to read this. Okay? I would like you to listen because you are well aware of who is this character. It's Wonder Woman. So I would like you to have your pen and paper with you. And we will try to accomplish this activity later. You have to complete the table by placing correctly the ideas from the red paragraph and consider the concept table below, which is on your module 3, independent activity 1. Okay? So before Themyscira, daughter of Queen Hippolyta, she grew up sheltered, but inside her, she wanted to be like her mother and her mother's generals. So she was trained by her mother's general Antioch, who knew of the prophecy surrounding the true identity of Diana. When a spy crossed the magic border of the island of the Amazons, Nazi soldiers fought and killed Antioch, which prompted Diana to go with the American spy to win Ares' war of all wars. Diana on to fight with men, discovering who she really is, who Ares is, and what she can do to win. Diana finally discovered lies of men, her true identity, her powers, and that she can be a Wonder Woman. So this is a good synopsis of the story of Wonder Woman. Now, I would like you to complete on your output, which you will be sent on Monday. Um, complete the table by placing correctly the ideas from the red paragraph and consider the concept table below. So this is the concept table that you have to follow. Okay? And then I will be expecting your outputs. If you can send them later so that I can be able to give feedbacks to your answers, or if you have sent already your outputs, that's a good thing. But if you weren't, I am challenging you to finish it quickly so that I can be able to give you feedbacks of activity number 1. Let's go to the second technique. Are you still with me, guys? Okay.
Yes po.
Yes
Yes,
po.
sir.
Thank you. Let's go to the second technique, which is the SAAC technique or the SAAC technique. So SAAC is also an acronym. S is for state, which is about the name of the article, book, or story. A is assign, the name of the author. The second A is about action, which is what the author is doing, for example, telling, explaining, etc. And letter C is about complete. Complete the sentence or summary with keywords and important details. So let's see an example. So an example of SAAC technique is applied with the boy who cried wolf. If you have accomplished your module 3, you know about this. So the boy who cried wolf is written by Aesop, a Greek storyteller, tells that what happens when a shepherd boy repeatedly lies to the villagers about seeing a wolf. After a while, they ignore his false cries. Then, when a wolf really does attack, they don't come to help him. This is a very sad story because it's about lying, especially of a young boy in his age that he was trying to trick the community. Unfortunately, by the time that he was telling the truth, nobody believed him. And all the sheep were eaten by the wolf. And everybody suffered because of his lying. Now, maybe you are wondering who is Aesop. This is the representation of Aesop. And if you're wondering where is Greece, so this is the Philippines and this is Greece. Okay? And this is the flag of Greece. Now, from the boy who cried wolf, we can be able to extract or complete this diagram. So state the title. So the boy who cried wolf. Assign, which means you have to state or assign who is the author. We have Aesop, a Greek storyteller. And what does Aesop do? That is the action that is telling or tells in the present tense. And complete it by stating the summary of what Aesop from the boy who cried wolf was telling. What happens when a shepherd boy repeatedly lies to the villagers about seeing a wolf? And this one is easier than the first one. So let's read this and then let's complete this activity. If you have completed it, once again, very good. If you haven't, you may send them. You may send your output later so that I can be able to give you my feedback. Now, let's read. When you buy a mobile phone, you have to take care of it. One way to do so is applying a screen protector to lessen the impact of falling objects on the screen and result in other damages in applying the screen protector. Clean the surface of your phone screen with a soft cloth to remove any dirt or lint. Once the surface of your screen is clean, remove the paper backing on the screen protector. Align the screen protector to the screen of your phone. Evenly apply the sticky side of the screen protector to your phone screen using the least amount of pressure. Smooth out any air bubble trap in between the protector and the phone screen using a soft cloth. Enjoy the added protection and enjoy your gadget. Especially at this pandemic time in which your digital or your devices, are very important. You have to take care of your phones. You have to take care of your mobile devices. So upon reading that, you can be able to complete the activity number 2. The hardest part of answering it, of course, is who was stating it, diba? Because nobody was mentioned. So that is the challenge with you. Let's go to the third one, the Cornell note taking. It is a technique in which devised by Professor Walter Pock of Cornell University in the 1950s. Tagal na, no? So these are the steps in the Cornell note-taking system. So you have to record your lecture notes. So pagkabasa mo, and then you have to record your lecture notes and then review your notes and create your self-test column. You will create your columns, of course, of your testing of those notes and summarize your notes, of course. Parang you will group your notes according to their similarities. And then you have to test yourself. And then you have to rehearse the information frequently and you have to review self-test column, record your lecture notes again using tables, and then summarize them. It's like going what are the advantages mentioned in the text, the disadvantages, the improvements needed, the definitions mentioned, and then you have to create your tables about them. It's just thematic analysis. You have to create themes and categories in which you can be able to gather or garner your most important points for your summary. Now, if you would like to learn more about this Cornell note-taking system, I added a source here. You can be able to click it and it's a PDF form. You can print it out and you may study it further. And if you have questions, just go back to me. Let us discuss it through PM or in a tutorial form. Let's go with the class activity number 3. Okay. So if you have your modules with you, you will still see here, pick out the main points from the paragraph and the evidence or the details Okay, so you have the topic. You will write down the topic here and the main points stated from the text. And of course, the evidences or details chronologically, meaning which came first, which was the first main point stated from the text. And we have here is the text. Okay. So tiger sharks, I hope you're still following me. Let's read the last text for the techniques. Okay. Tiger sharks got their name due to the dark vertical stripes found mainly on young tiger sharks called juveniles. When these sharks mature, the lines begin to fade and almost disappear. These large, blunt-nosed predators have a duly earned reputation as man-eaters because of many reported attacks. They are second only to the great white sharks in attacking people, but because they are not picky eaters, they do not swim away after biting a human like the great whites frequently do. Let's go to the part 2. By the way, if you have questions, please, we have a chat box. They are excellent scavengers. They have excellently senses of sight and smell and a nearly limitless menu of food choice. They have sharp, highly separated teeth and powerful jaws that allow them to crack the shells of sea turtles and clams. The stomach contents of some captured tiger sharks have included stingrays, sea snakes, seals, birds, squids, and even non-food items like old tires and even license plates. Okay, once again, as we have read that, I would like you to complete this and then send your outputs later. And I'll give you my feedbacks as soon as possible. So now, what are the other common techniques that we are already using or taught by your teachers already? The first one is the 5W age or 5 Ws and 1 age questions. This relies on 6 crucial questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Just like in announcements. No? These questions make it easy to identify the main character, important details, and main idea. So it's just like asking who is the story about, what did they do, what did the action take place, where did the story happen, and why did the main character do what she or he did, and how did the main character do what he or she did. May I ask somebody to read this for us? The first, then finally. Anyone who would like to
Sir,
volunteer?
sir,
Yes,
sir.
let's have.
Joy Alex, sir.
Okay, let's hear from, let's start with Kyla Castro.
Great, sir. The first, then finally technique helps students summarize events in chronological order. The 3 words represent the beginning, main action, and conclusion of a story, respectively. Continue, sir.
Yes.
First, what happened first? Include the main character and main event or action. The second one is then. What key details took place during the event or action? Third one, finally. What were the results of the event or action?
Of course, you know this already. As long as you know this introductory statements in which state of or denote chronological order, you can be able to accomplish the task of summarizing using this. Let's go to the last one. Give me the gists. Please read it for us. Who would like?
Sir,
Yes, Ira.
when someone asks for the gist of a story, they want to know what the story is about. In other words, they want a summary, not a retelling of every detail to introduce the gist method. Explain the summarizing is just like giving a friend a gist of a story and have tell each other about your favorite books or movies in 15 seconds or less. You can use the guess method as a fun, quick way to practice summarizing on a regular basis.
And actually, this is the one that we have done earlier. Remember when I asked you of your favorite movies? And you can be able to do that as an activity with your classmates. And I believe when you are sharing your thoughts about a certain movie, or when you're asking your classmates their most embarrassing moments, their happiest moment, their saddest moments, then we give the gist of our story. So good job to our readers, and thank you for accommodating that challenge. Now, let's proceed to a written assessment. So I would like you to get a pen and paper. And by the way, this is already reflected on your module 3. So I will just visit your submitted outputs. But to those who haven't done yet with their modules, please accomplish this part, the assessment part of your modules. It says here on a separate sheet of paper, write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. No sweat. You just have to state if it is true or false according to the factuality of the statements. So these statements are all from or based from our discussions of the techniques. Now, let's proceed to a performance tasks. Okay. May I ask Amy? Amy, are you here? Amy?
Yes po, sir.
Amy, please help us in reading this slide.
Sige po, sir. Applying SWOT analysis in evaluating a summary. A compilation of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in an analysis to help a person develops a full awareness of all the factors involved in making a decision. Perform a SWOT analysis before committing to any sort of action, whether exploring new initiatives, revamping internal policies, considering opportunities to pivot, or altering a plan midway through its execution. Use SWOT analysis to discover recommendations and strategies, with the focus on leveraging strengths and opportunities to overcome weaknesses and threats.
I hope, thank you, Amy. I hope that this is not the first time that you will be using SWOT analysis in evaluating a certain write-up. SWOT analysis is appropriate in assessing the elements of a certain text if it is well written, organized, or well managed to be summarized, paraphrased, or quoted, and with the other considerations that might arise. Because you can be able to show the strengths in that write-up. When we speak of strengths, what are the good sides or the capacity of that summary or that substance to withstand great force or pressures? What are the good sides of it? On the other hand, we have weaknesses. These are the bad sides or the faulty sides or the disadvantageous sides, and which must be improved, eliminated, or omitted. When we speak of opportunities, what are the elements on the summary or on the substance that might be improved using the techniques that we have discussed? And of course, in consideration of the guidelines and the scoring rubrics that we have, and the threats, which are the things that we think must be taken into consideration so that the same mistakes would not happen again. So in accomplishing the SWOT analysis, you have to state all the good sides, all the bad sides, all the things that must be improved, and all the things that must be eliminated so that the summary must be well written. Now, the scoring rubric, so that you know how I will be grading you, is like this. The important ideas, if they are excellently shown, strongly manifested, proficiently manifested, or they are fairly needed additional work to improve, and of course on the beginning side, and as well as your paraphrasing skills when you understand the type of structures, text structures that we have discussed on the lesson 2, and of course your word choice, because conventions are very important as well. So I would like you to dig deeper with the scoring rubric, and if you have questions, please tell me. Now, this is your activity. I would like you to evaluate this literary text. Actually, it is an article, a research article. You just have to visit this, what do you call this? This link so that you can be able to get the summary. And with the use of the SWOT analysis, please evaluate the research article. Write down the strengths, which are the good parts or the good techniques used, the weaknesses, the bad sides, or the elements which um, incorrectly done by the author, the opportunities, the parts in which must be improved or could be improved, and lastly, the threats, which must be eliminated so that the summary would be perfectly or well written. Now, so how are we going to do the SWOT analysis, this performance task? I expect you to pass this also on Monday on a separate sheet of paper, and of course you have um, alternatives in sending your digital output, so please do so. And I'll be sending you also the worksheets for the SWOT analysis, and it would be available as soon as our discussion ends this afternoon. Now, I would like you to be further challenged. It would be an additional task. It is a group performance task. And these are your group mates for this activity. I'll be sending these groupings on our group. So for group 1 group, we have 12 groups actually. So I have equally divided the gentlemen of the class for the 10 groups, since there we have only 10 males in the group, so that this would give us diverse opinions about these sensitive topics that I have mentioned. So the group performance task is about writing a summary text by considering the guidelines for writing a well-written summary and the scoring rubric for evaluating one. Now, you have to pick an article having a topic from the list below. So we have the list here, the ones that I have mentioned, which are too sensitive, not only because they are attacking certain beliefs religiously, in terms of age discrimination, gender biases. We have also political propagandas here. We have also issues in educational system, and of course, our national health concerns, not only physically but also mentally. Now, I would like you to upload the original article that you will be getting from maybe the newspaper or the printed materials that you have, and as well as the digital. And you have also to send your group finalized summary. So you have to form a group, and please add me on that chat room so that I can be able to guide you. And you have to upload in your folder as a group the original text and of course your group finalized summary. So how I will be grading you with this? Of course, with the same set of rubric that we have mentioned about writing a well-written summary. So what do I expect from you after this class, which I have to be given feedback? First, all the activities in the techniques, the written assessment, which is on the module, and the same one at the same time the performance task, in which you have to evaluate using the SWOT analysis, a summary text, and your group performance task, which we will be further discussing in the chat room in the EAPP, which we will be dealing with your own written summary as a group, following the set of topics that I have mentioned to you that are too sensitive to be tackled, but I have to challenge you on that area so that you will be equipped with more serious, um, complex topics. Now, that ends my discussion this afternoon. I would like to hear from you if you have certain questions and suggestions and comments. Kindly turn on your cameras, everyone. indulge me, please? May I see you, everyone? May I ask anyone to give me one thing that he or she appreciated about the discussion that we had?
Sir, me po,
Yes.
Dexil Gonzalez.
Yes, Dex?
Isa po sa mga na-appreciate ko sa discussion is yung sa summarizing techniques po.
Yes.
And yung pinakagustuhan ko pong summarizing technique is yung SAAC.
All right.
Kasi po para sa
Continue.
madali po siyang gawin pag nagsa-summarize.
Yes. And it is also direct and informative because it does not only deals with the content itself, but also the biographical and the historical points of view of the text itself. Who else?
Sir, ako po.
Yes, state your name.
Sir, Jay Allen po, sir.
Yes, Joy.
Yung about po sa paraphrasing and summarizing po. Kasi po napakadali po nung explanation niya po para sa akin.
Wow, thank you so much. And that's a good point. Let's have Kyla Castro.
Sir, I supported the idea from Miss Joy Alim, sir. Now I know how to differentiate quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing po.
Okay, nice job. How about Buentipo? Angeline?
Doon po sa guidelines for summarizing, super helpful po noon na per guide po, makakagawa ka ng tamang summarize po.
Yeah, the step-by-step process. That's a good thing.
Yes po.
Yeah. Let's hear from the quiet one, but very quick. Jerome Malyari, what have you appreciated?
Yung katulad po nung kay Dexil na sinabi niya po, sir, I love the SAC technique or SACC1.
Ah, okay. Because?
I find it easy po, sir, dun po sa tatlong summarizing technique na natackle po natin sa Module 3.
All right. Okay. May I know who already passed or submitted their outputs for Module 3 prior to this discussion? May I know? They have already submitted theirs. Oo, ang dami nyo nagpapasa ng maaga. And I love that. I appreciate that. So if you would like to change certain things from your submitted outputs because of, for the sake of our discussion, you may do so. I'll be waiting for your activities until 5 p.m. And for the group performance task, I will still be discussing the guidelines so that it would be clear on the chat room. And after this class, you may use the rest of the time, if you still have it, to complete these activities and expect the feedbacks from your activities. This has been a good day. I hope you have learned something new. If you have no other questions, we may proceed to picture taking. Do you have any questions and concerns? I think
Wala
silence.
na po.
All right. Thank you. So shall we proceed to picture taking? Give me the files. 1, 2, 3. One more. Best smile, please. 1, 2, 3. One more. Damihan natin. Sayang yung ligo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. The best smile. Yung medyo vlogger yung dating. 1, 2, 3. That ends our discussion this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. Kumusta niyo ko kay Mama at Papa? God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good day po.
Po, sir. Good day po.
Hello, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Waiting for
Good
our
day.
outputs. Good day.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Thank you po, sir.
Good day.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Good day po.
Naka-PPE si Roslyn. Roslyn, how are you?
I'm okay, sir.
Where are you?
Nag-work po.
Ah, okay. Please stay safe, ha? Stay healthy.
Okay. Thank you po.
God bless everybody.
God bless po.